It's the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon Channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley. Tuesday with the looming threat of weather this week.
Yes.
What's wrong with this winter?
I don't know exactly what it is.
I do.
We always get these, you know, it
Today
ebbs and it flows. Yeah, it ebbs and it flows. You're going to have nothing, and then just get destroyed for a weekend.
Right.
With 2 feet of snow that melts by the end of the following week, which is weird. But here's what's interesting with this storm, because I was talking with Sam Jackson, our meteorologist.
Oh, you were? Still trying to edge in on that one, huh? Nice.
Jesus, dude. Can you stop with that?
That's all right. Hey, look.
Stop.
All I know is what I've been through with you for almost 20 years, right?
And I have...
I'm only going to rags to riches for the quarter drinks. I'm not there for the college kids. Don't mind me.
Okay. I was different in my 30s than I am at 50, almost 1. So no, it's not. No, because I'm very concerned about, because I hate driving in any kind of snow or sleet or shitty weather. Rain I can handle. My issue with snow and especially if you get the patchy ice and you're driving in when I do at 4:00 in the morning, and you can't really tell. There will be a line of cars behind me at certain times when we just get a little bit of snow, because I can't tell. I think people are going too fast, and I drive like a 90. In those conditions, I drive like a 90-year-old woman with cataracts looking for an address. Okay, that is just how I drive in those conditions. So I'm always a little bit apprehensive going in. And here's the interesting thing about this possible storm. And I say possible because she was telling me that 4 of the 6 models say we're going to get hit.
Yep.
And this is going to be really, really bad, like a possible half inch of ice.
Oh boy.
But then the other 2 models, which are the more reliable models, say it's going to be rain. We're going to get dumped on with rain, and it's going to be about 37 degrees. But there's no happy medium.
Ooh.
It's we're right in that. It all depends on temperature. If it's between 33 and 36 degrees, it's just going to be rain. But if it's 29 to 32, we're screwed. This will be a serious ice storm under those conditions. With you're going to have power outages for multiple days. This won't just be, the power is out, it'll be back on in an hour by the end of the day. No. If your power goes out and you don't have a generator or whatever, you're going to be without power for at least a couple of days, probably.
Generator.
But yeah, then that's just smart. That is one of the wisest investments you can make living in the areas we live in. So those are the possibilities. What I appreciate is, and this is what more people need to be comfortable doing just in general, even if they're an expert at something. When you don't know, be open about it. And this is what she's saying. It's we don't know. Now, these are the models. These are the 2 possibilities. We got the one that's been tracking this for days, says, and again, 4 of the 6 say this is going to be bad. But the ones that have typically been more reliable say it's probably going to be more of a rain event with some ice in the northern counties.
Okay. All right. Well.
So that's what we're looking at here.
As she was describing this,
we shall see.
As she was describing this, did you go like that?
Dude, look, I'm not.
She must smell like Love Baby sauce.
I'm not a sniffer. That's not how I roll. Okay, it's not me. So no, I was honestly curious because again, and this was actually affecting me last night because I knew what was coming, and I'm like, God, I don't want to have to get up, especially if it starts tomorrow, which it's not. So we're supposed to get maybe a dusting of snow tonight,
right?
But I'm like, I don't want to have to get up and leave at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh. And then I'm battling with, okay, do I expense out a hotel?
Right.
I don't. I hate that. I hate disruptions in my routine. You know me. I'm routine oriented. Oh shit! See, you're such a dick.
I hate it.
This is going to have 0 impact on you.
Oh,
you go from
Dave.
your room to the basement. You got a generator. You got no issues in this
What?
whatsoever.
You got it. Hey, think of me.
Zero impact.
Just
for
think of
India.
this. What if I get snowed in? What am I going to do?
Nothing changes. You don't go anywhere.
Hey, look. If I get snowed in, I might not have donut holes. Right? That's bad. I might be stuck playing video games. I might be stuck watching everything on TV. I might be stuck driving around on that John Deere. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Hey.
Your options. You got a lot of different things that could happen. And
there's only 412 video games on that machine downstairs. What am I going to do? Tell me, Dave.
Are like, you and Max are like the same. It's
what am I going to do?
It's all about the video.
A guy can only play so much Zaxxon.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know?
I'm starting to get it now, though. It's interesting. Because, again, I don't know what we're preparing kids for anymore anyway. I don't know what jobs are going to be out there. Eventually, we're all going to be living in some weird virtual reality pseudo-utopia. And so I think what my son is doing currently may be the best maybe even better preparation than actual school.
Right.
Just being content, being in your room, playing Fortnite for 7 or 8 hours.
Yep.
Maybe that's what they all should, because maybe that's essentially in some form of fashion. That's what we're all going to be doing within the next decade. Who the hell knows?
Well,
I don't know.
You just jogged my memory.
Robot overlords take over.
Do you remember? You remember I told you I was having a hard time coming up with something to talk about.
Yeah, you said you thought about something, but then you forgot.
Last night we were going to watch a documentary, which I have to really recommend. It's called The World's Greatest Fair on Amazon Prime. It's about the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Dude, you got to see this.
1904?
1904. Yeah, amazing.
Because didn't they have one like in the 20s?
They had one.
Or was it
they had one every year. Yeah, but but trust me, watch The World's Greatest Fair.
Okay.
About the 1904. But anyway, Mrs. O decides that 3 minutes into the show, she's going to go right to sleep. So we stop that one, and we'll watch it some other, because she'll like it too. So I'll save it. Mm-hmm. But I switched over to
you've already seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I switched over to an old radio broadcasting film about the heyday of radio back in the 20s and 30s, and when they were doing plays and all that other stuff on the radio.
And everybody talked like this, see?
Yeah, everybody talked like Edo Hurley. Yeah, that's right.
I'll give you the what for.
Do you realize everybody today gripes about the economy, and everybody gripes today about how bad off we've got it, and blah, blah, blah. If you looked at a radio production back then and think about everything that went into a radio production as far as it came to employment, it's all our fault where all the jobs went. I mean, the studios were enormous. They had entire orchestras in there playing.
Right.
They had entire choirs. They had entire featured performers.
They had
engineers. They had people that had to build the equipment to get them on the air. They had it just jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs and jobs. And through the entire thing, the entire process, and leading up till now, it's like, how can we get rid of these jobs?
Well, it's all technological advancement.
I get that, and that's wonderful.
That's what happens.
But technologically advance your ass right out of everything. Well,
yeah, that's what we
got
do.
A problem on our hands, right?
Well, that's where this is all going. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we should all just give up. I don't mean that. I'm only half joking, because this is where it's going.
Soylent Green is people. We're going to be eating each other before too long.
It's the technocracy has started, and
it's ridiculous.
And everything we do is going to be pretty much obsolete.
Think about the phone company.
We're going to have to, and we're not. Here's the funny thing: is the vast majority of us, and this is one of the reasons I actually appreciate the fact that I have never attained any real level of success.
Right.
Is because I'm not really I don't think we're going to really even care. I think what's going to happen is this is all going to happen. Our lives are going to get demonstrably easier.
Yeah.
Assuming we don't get nuked or the whole thing doesn't come crashing down, which is also another possibility.
Sure.
let's go one of those two ways. But we're all going to be, we're gonna all be on something that makes us not care about it anyway. But yeah, I think if I had actually achieved some level of financial success and I had something to lose, I think I would care more about it. But I don't
Think of
think
the phone
eventually I
company
will.
back in the day.
Mhm.
Installers, technicians back at the plant,
Mhm.
people building phones.
Don't need them.
Dude, now it's all a
They're
microchip.
irrelevant.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
we did need them,
We don't-
and we were better off when we had them.
I don't know. It's hard to say because look, in somebody I can't remember who said this, but it made sense. I mean, I've talked about before how we're all getting softer and lazy, and
Yeah.
it's just, but that's just honestly because we've been so successful. Things have gotten easier. We actually have to work to make things difficult. That's why you work out. Back in the day, you didn't need to work out. You just farmed. You were
Right.
tilling the land.
No.
You were surviving. None of us have. I mean, we don't. Nobody really worries about food. We really don't. I mean, we all eat garbage basically. I mean, it's we don't. We're soft. We're lazy. We're entitled. We don't have to work for anything anymore, and we're not gonna care when the robot overlords take over because we've been softened up for it. We're just not going to. I mean, there will be some people screaming, and there will be a few semi-organized militias developing, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
None of it's going to matter. I mean, the takeover is eventually coming. Maybe we kick the can down 50, 100 years. Who knows? But it's coming, and I'm like, okay,
We shall see.
we'll see what happens.
All right. You gonna do some news today?
All right, yeah. Might as well. Let's get into it. Researchers in Germany say a 53-year-old man has been cured of HIV, referred to as the Dusseldorf patient. To protect his anonymity, he is the 5th confirmed HIV cure. He was successfully treated back in 2019, but that was not proclaimed a cure. Now, 4 years later, still has no detectable virus in his body. There are currently over 38 million people living with HIV. I think we still think of Magic Johnson as basically being cured because but he's still on all the medications. This guy's not on any of the medications anymore.
Wow.
So it's amazing because especially when you think back, because you and I were both kids during the heyday of HIV when this was the thing that was going to end us. I mean, like
it was a death sentence. Yep.
Yeah. Remember being 18, 19 years old and terrified that you could get it because we were being lied to about how anybody can get it. It's gonna be real. It's really, really easy, and then you find out it really isn't. It's not easy to get. HIV is not easy to contract. It isn't.
Well,
that was according to
if you're swapping body fluids, you're at risk.
Yeah, it's still. I heard that, and I heard this from a reputable local news person who talked to a guy from, it was either the CDC or the FDA, who said, and the guy said, look, we're not going to admit this publicly, but it is extremely difficult to contract HIV or AIDS from conventional sex. Conventional.
Okay.
And you know what conventional is? It's not going in certain areas. And that's where there's, not to get too graphic, but if there's blood and tearing, There anyway. So that is, I mean, that was the reality, but they, they didn't admit to that. So that's where, but we were terrified. I mean, this is amazing. And you think of that when we interviewed Jeffrey Sipsick, great dude.
Yeah, love Jeff.
Love the guy. But he was in the 80s, was told to get his affairs in order when he was in his 20s, and now he's thriving, doing great, and God bless him. And it's great that we have it because we didn't think this was going to happen.
Nope.
I mean, I remember Magic Johnson getting it, and they were like, he's going to die. We were going to watch, and this is what everybody thought at the time. 1991, I remember it was like November 7th of 1991. He announces he's HIV positive. We all think he's going to die. Everybody did. It was a somber. It was like one of those, oh my God, this can affect anybody. And And here we are over 30 years later, and he's healthy as a horse. And and now we're seeing, these cures happen. So it's amazing. I mean, we are seeing, medical breakthroughs happen, and that's a good thing.
I'm all for
It's
it.
an amazing thing. There you go. Moving on, former President Jimmy Carter remains in hospice care at his home in Georgia. Carter survived metastatic brain cancer and had undergone brain surgery following a fall back in 2019. He was placed in hospice care last weekend. Jimmy Carter is 98 years old. Obviously, a very successful post-presidency. I mean, the Habitat for Humanity thing, very inspiring. The fact that he's still around, 98 years old, great run, served his country, hats off to him. And again, definitely a life to be celebrated, no question. Whatever side of the aisle you lay on, it was, I mean, especially like I said, post-presidency, a lot of good things.
His presidency was not the shiny.
It wasn't
penny.
good.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't one to be crapped on either. It was.
Oh, you can crap on it because it was awful. I mean, it was bad.
He had the gas problems.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the day, he got the hostages out of Iran on his way out the door. I mean, hindsight being 2020, he did that.
He did, and they didn't. And here's the interesting, because there was so much animosity between the Carter administration and the Iranians, the powers that be.
Right.
They were not releasing the hostages because Carter worked all the way up till the end.
Yep.
They were not releasing them until Reagan was inaugurated. They hated Carter so much. They're like, yeah, we're gonna hold on. Yeah, everything. It was signed, sealed, and delivered, but they weren't released until January 20th of 1981.
Crazy.
Insane. What else is going on? The state of Michigan will receive over $55 million for public housing. The grant is part of the $3.16 billion allocated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development last week. Nearly 2,500 public housing authorities will receive the funding across the U.S. I think this is good if it really goes to the people who need housing, and it really goes to the housing and not to pay off this thing, because you hear these authorities are getting it, and then it's being dispersed, and your eyebrows get raised a little bit. It's like, is this going to go where it needs to go to?
Right.
And that's what always is kind of one of those. I don't know. Sports. Sparty takes on the Hoosiers at the Breslin Center tonight. 9:00 tip-off. That's sports.
That's all you got for sports?
That was all that was going on.
What am I paying you for? That's not enough sports.
What are you talking about, dude? It was a light night. I mean, the NBA was on the All-Star break. Red Wings suck or are mediocre this year. Pistons suck.
All right.
I mean, I'm doing what I can. I'm trying to make lemonade out of lemons here, and you're crapping all over it.
You couldn't dig down into the PBA and give us some bowling scores?
No, I'm not giving you any bowl. I only deal in actual sports.
Hey, did you watch AFC this last week?
I don't deal in anything where you can if you can get drunk and play it, it's not a sport aside from golf.
Oh,
that's it.
Right.
But
did you watch AFC?
Of course not, because I'm a.
They had a very special segment of soldiers coming home to surprise their kids. That was nice. I like that.
Oh, that's sweet. Good.
Name
you
for
can
president.
See that all on YouTube. So.
It's not as good on YouTube.
It's not as good on YouTube because I don't have commercials. Because it's not hosted by a completely untalented person.
It's not as good on YouTube. I'm telling you. Name for a president for $600. The Department of Commerce headquarters building is named for this president who once served as Commerce Secretary.
I don't know.
$600 in the hole.
Secretary. I don't know who served as a Secretary of Commerce. Nobody knows who served.
Well,
it was named for. Okay. Do we have a time frame?
Let's do that, because that's what they do in Jeopardy. Whenever the moron on Jeopardy's standing there and doesn't have a clue, they look over.
You know what?
They look over at Ken Jennings and they go, "Gee, Ken, I don't know. Can you give me a hint?"
I'm going to guess a president it couldn't possibly be.
Okay.
Rutherford B. Hayes.
You're completely wrong. So
Okay,
29,
I don't care. I wanted to give
800.
Rutherford some love.
Well, it's
I
Herbert
was going to
Hoover.
go Hubert Hoover. Okay.
Okay.
I
Cool.
remembered him from the intro to All in the Family.
Oh, was
We
he in?
need a man like Herbert Hoover again.
I don't remember that.
Didn't need no welfare state. Everybody pulled his weight. G.R. Old LaSalle ran great. Those were the days. Come on.
Sing it, Dave.
Everybody knows it.
All right, we'll
That's
see you
it.
tomorrow.
See ya!
Happy Tuesday, Muskegon. We have a calm before the storm as a powerful storm system moves through with many different precipitation types Tuesday night through Thursday. So let's look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Your weather headlines show that we will have the calm before the storm, like I said, for Tuesday, even though it won't be that calm because we will have some pretty strong winds today. But besides that, light snow will move in Tuesday night right around 10 p.m. or so and continue into early Wednesday before heavier precipitation moves through Wednesday afternoon lasting into Thursday. Now temperature-wise today will be right around the freezing mark, and with the strong winds it will feel like the lower 20s if not the teens. And here's those stronger wind gusts that I was mentioning. Here in Muskegon County we could gust up to 46 miles per hour throughout the day today, so make sure you are aware of that as it will definitely knock down the wind chill. And as this storm system approaches us, we'll likely have some snow breakout, especially north of Grand Rapids as we get into Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. You can see here in Muskegon we are expecting some snow around 4 a.m. on Wednesday, so going into Tuesday night, but we're not expecting more than an inch of snow out of that. So thankfully for your Tuesday, we'll be dry for now with a high of 32. With windy conditions, however, that will help to knock down our wind chill into the 20s or the teens. And then overnight tonight, going into Wednesday morning, we'll have some snow showers, especially to the north of us, with a low of 27. Now the biggest weather story, like I've been saying, is the storm system that will arrive Wednesday afternoon, sticking around through much of the day on Thursday. And here's what the dominant precipitation type will be for these specific regions. North of us, they'll likely see mostly snow. Here in Muskegon County, we'll likely see mostly sleet or ice pellets. So that will definitely slicken up the roads as the ice kind of sticks to the roadways. And then it's not impossible. We could see some snow as well, and even some freezing rain thanks to the temperatures just fluctuating across the area, both at the surface and aloft, since that pretty much determines what you'll see. And then south of us, they'll likely see mostly freezing rain, so possibly maybe an ice storm for areas like Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, and Lansing and Jackson. And then further south toward Indiana, they should be seeing mostly just rain. Now, at least here in Muskegon County, we're not just expecting ice pellets or sleet. We will probably see some snow over the next few days, beginning Tuesday night, like I said, lasting through Thursday. And by the time we get to Thursday night, we could see maybe around 5 inches of snowfall on top of the sleet that we will see. So overall, a pretty messy storm system is expected. I wouldn't be shocked to see school closures on Thursday, just thanks to the variety of precipitation types that will definitely slicken up the roads. So this is what it could look like Wednesday at 7 p.m. Snow to the north of us. Here in Muskegon County, we'll have a mix of precipitation, primarily ice pellets though, mixing with some snow and some freezing rain. So Wednesday evening will be just a mess across Muskegon County and all across West Michigan, and then freezing rain to our south, especially along the I-94 corridor. So if you have plans to go to Kalamazoo or Jackson, I would cancel those Wednesday evening since they're expecting a decent amount of freezing rain and then just plain rain further south. So you can see that in our 7-day forecast with just a mess of precipitation Tuesday night through Thursday night, with snow starting off Tuesday night, turning into ice pellets throughout the day on Wednesday, mixing with some snow and also some freezing rain going into Wednesday night. And then by Thursday, we'll get warm enough where we'll start to have freezing rain and then rain, and then cold enough going into Thursday night to transition all of that over to snow going into Friday. So a pretty hectic storm system is expected through Friday, and then thankfully we have a dry weekend in store with temperatures in the mid to low 30s. And that's your crazy forecast brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon channel. And I'm Colin Woods Weather, and enjoy your day today.